Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to your Pisces full moon reading. And this full moon is going to be happening on September 20th around 5:54 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So depending on where you're at in the world, that's going to be when it's going to be at its fullest. And I love that this one's called the autumn moon, because whatever moon is closest to the autumn equinox, that one gets to have the title and wins the title of autumn moon. And since the autumn equinox happens on September 22nd, this one obviously is a couple days away. So that is why it's the autumn moon. So a little tidbit of fun information there. And I love that we're coming into this Pisces full moon following 2 consecutive months in Aquarius, with Aquarius full moons, 2 in a row. And those bring in this energy of hopes and dreams, of building community, assisting the whole collective in its evolution towards unconditional love. Now that can also put us into this sort of a stagnant dream state where we're daydreaming off in the future about this is what we want, and we may not take action toward it. But what's beautiful is this Pisces full moon brings in a perfect balance between the dreaminess and the dreaming and looking into the future, but also taking practical steps towards our goals. And it's also, of course, with it being Pisces, it's a time of deep emotions. Full moon alone has deep emotions. And so definitely when you bring in Pisces into it, you do have a very expanded, explosive, emotional type energy. That also means the veil will be extra thin between the physical world and with our spiritual companions, our spiritual posse on the other side. So if we are unsure of the next steps we want to take, those practical steps, or we need advice, Spirit is waiting for, to give us the answers, to answer our questions, give us guidance and all that. Also, next month we'll be having a full moon in Aries. So Aries brings in a lot of, drive and ambition and inspiration. So we'll have a lot of extra energy to funnel into our progress on those practical steps, but also keeping in mind that Pisces, that's the end of the zodiac, kind of cycle, and we're starting a new one. So that can also bring in some possible revisions and alter our course a bit. So something to keep in mind as we're going forward. Now, the last new moon in Pisces was back on March 13th of this year. So, when you look at the new moon, full moon cycles, it's about 6 months apart-ish, give or take a couple weeks, a few weeks. And so beyond the monthly phase, kind of moon phases, we have this large 6-month moon phase that happens. And so whatever was planted and kind of started at the new moon in Pisces, this full moon is the climax of that stuff. And then we start to, kind of wane back to the new moon, the next new moon in Pisces, which will be down, further down 6 months-ish from now. So back then, if you look back around March 13th, you might see that you were encouraged to kind of take this leap of faith, have this courage to share a dream, or you were harnessing, extra creativity. There's this huge energy around it about taking this movement forward or forward movement. And so now is the time to revisit the plans we had back then, our dreams, whatever it was, and see what alterations we now want to make, what changes we want to make to those plans. What are we ready to let go of that no longer, is needed, no longer serves our, possibly altered dream, especially as we move into the Aries full moon. So for this reading, what we're going to ask is, what does Spirit want us to know about next steps? And so we're going to go ahead and jump in for your reading right now. All right, all my Scorpios, this is your reading for your Pisces full moon. And since we're asking Spirit about what advice about your next steps. We're going to pull a card here from the bird messages because your feathered friends have a message for you. So we'll see what bird is going to bring you a message and what that message is. I know it wouldn't be cool if it really happened in real life. You suddenly have like those owls in Harry Potter where they come with this message and you're like, whoa! So this is the next best thing, right? All right, for our Scorpios, what message do you have? Okay, here's the bird right here. Let's see what we have. Oh, wow, yeah. You've got the phoenix. Creative change realizes your dreams. And what's really fitting for this, Scorpios, is that you are this huge being of transformation. And I love the story of the transformation of the Scorpio sign, because you start off as a scorpion, which stings, instinctively to protect itself, but then you evolve and you transform into a snake. And a snake still needs to be honored because it can still strike and be poisonous and cause pain, but it really is about growth and shedding its skin and growing. And then it transforms into an eagle. And the eagle, as an eagle, you get to rise and you can see things from a different perspective and from a high point. And you still dive down with your claws and protect what matters to you and what you love, like your family and possessions or whatever it might be. But then you can immediately go back up and soar to the sky and see things from the higher perspective. But ultimately, the eagle changes into the phoenix. And so this is you. So that's why this is so amazing to me. So creative change realizes your dreams. So definitely connecting to your creativity as you look at your next steps here, not zeroing into doing what you always did and getting what you always got. You're really moving into this beautiful creative way of looking at things, transforming things. And it says here, so for the phoenix, when sun's total eclipse darkened the pyramids of ancient Egypt, was it Phoenix who danced in its glittering corona? Only Phoenix knows, and Phoenix holds secrets tightly. Certainly she once lived in North Africa's spangled deserts, the only bird of her kind, unique as each of us is. There, after a vivid earthly lifespan of 500 years, Phoenix, poised on a nest of aromatic branches, set fire to herself, only to rise again, entire and refreshed from the ashes. Poetry incarnate, Phoenix is the perfect union of yin and yang, or yang, if you pronounce it that way, the divine balance of masculine and feminine energies. She embodies the regenerative power of the sun and the cleansing power of fire, which allows us to be born anew, constant but changed. If Phoenix has regenerated in your cards, she counsels that it is time for creative change. Leave your past behind, and refreshed and entire, you may become your dreams. Beautiful. Yep. So letting the old way of thinking going, the old dreams go, and really finding out what your true dream is, and transforming that. I love that. We're also going to get more information, of course. We're going to use these fairy tarot, and I'm going to pull 3 cards. One is going to be for the week before the full moon. One is for the week after the full moon, and then the other one is for the second week after the full moon, before we start going into the next new moon. So for our Scorpios for the week before the full moon, what do you have for them there? Okay. And then what about the week after? Okay. And then what about the second week after the full moon? So the week before the full moon, got the 9 of spring, and that's going to be the 9 of wands. And so this says, protect your fruits of your labor, prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead, environmental conservation. And I appreciate their interpretation of that. For me, I really feel this is about perseverance, and that if there's any obstacles ahead, It's okay. You have the ability to push through whatever's been holding you back. Just know that it won't hold you back for long, and you have all the energy that you need to get through it. So connect to that inner knowingness, connect to this inner power, and just know that you are going to get through whatever situation is holding you back from your dreams. Just don't give up. That's all you have to do, is just don't give up. Don't live all the future moments. Just live for this moment. Just knowing you have enough energy to get through this moment, and then you have enough, then you get new energy for the next moment, which you'll use to get through that moment, and so on and so on. And then for the week after the full moon, you've got the King of Summer. So you got the King of Cups, honorable, devoted, mature, warm-hearted. Boom. And so this is about a romantic partner you can trust, excellent advice that comes from the heart, getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavor. And so I usually call this like the Christ consciousness or the Christ love card, because this is all about unconditional love. The Ace of Cups is like the chalice. It's the Holy Grail, and it brings us the living waters of what we're searching for. It brings us the love that we've been searching for all along, which is the unconditional love of the Mother and Father of all things, our Creator. It's where when we connect to the other side and to back home where we come from, that's all that realm is unconditional love. And so this King of Cups is really about connecting to that, because what the king represents, he's of course moved from the Ace of Cups all the way through all the cups, experiencing all the wonderful roller coaster of emotions we experience in this life, and he's reached the end of this suit. So he's very aware of how emotions work, and very in tune. And you being a Scorpio and a water sign, you totally know what I'm talking about. You've swam the waters, even though you're a scorpion and a snake and an eagle and a phoenix. You understand swimming in the waters anyway. It doesn't matter. An eagle can dive down into the water and dive down and swim as well as fly, right? And so you understand this. You understand that emotions are where we come here. Emotions is what we feel. The unconditional love is who we are on the other side. And we come here to this physical plane to experience the opposite, which is conditional love and fear. All those uncomfortable emotions are uncomfortable because we don't feel them back home. But if you always were in unconditional love, you would never know that it exists, right? So in order to understand what unconditional love is, you experience it opposite, and then you can point back and go, that's unconditional love, because I'm not in unconditional love. And I kind of make it like, speaking of water and the eagle, if you're above water and you're always breathing air, you don't know air exists, because it's just there. You never have known not air being there until you go underwater, and then you're like, air is up there, and that's air, and it's beautiful, and I understand it so much more, and I appreciate it so much more. Can I get back into it, please? And so by experiencing what it's not, you understand more fully what it is. And so there's this beautiful understanding here of, I'm feeling what I'm feeling, and it's okay. I feel comfortable in feeling what I'm feeling. I no longer have to fix what I'm feeling. I don't have to resist what I'm feeling. I'm going to feel it and let it run its course. And then I know I can take deep breaths and come out of that feeling into something else, because I get to choose what I feel. I don't have to feel any way I don't want to feel any longer. I can feel it I think I was reading this book called Whole Brain Living by Dr. Jill. I forget her last name, sorry. But if you look up Whole Brain Living, it's a beautiful book, because it does talk about how we go into these, we're emotional beings who think. And so when you have an emotion in our human side of our brain, it cycles for like 90 seconds. And so if you pause and can breathe and just sit in that for 90 seconds, you can choose a new feeling after 90 seconds because it's when it's route, unless you recycle it. And if you keep recycling it, that's why it feels like the emotion continues and continues, because you haven't learned how you can pause your breath and not feel that. And so I feel like this is like this understanding and this mastery feeling of your emotions, because here's the persistence, and then here's understanding why you're feeling and what you're going through, and then you move into the second week after the full moon, which I can understand why you're having these emotions and this kind of explosiveness of emotions, because the full moon is in Pisces. So the full moon is in a water sign, and the full moon usually amplifies our feelings anyway, and you are a water sign, so you're feeling the like triple threat. Boom, boom, boom. You're the triple magnification, because it's not a threat. Triple magnification of emotions. So whatever emotion you're focused on is what is going to be amplified 3 times. And so if you don't like it, whatever emotion you're feeling that's amplified 3 times, 90 seconds from now, you can choose a new one. Right. And then the second week after, I figured this was coming. You got the Hermit. So definitely it's time to take time to yourself, take time away, get away from all that noise out there. And it's time to connect to the higher you. That's you connecting, going on your inner journey, understanding yourself. It says on the bottom, find or be a mentor, take a break from society, a commitment to your spiritual growth. So definitely, this is a good week to spend making sure you're taking time to you to connect to this higher place, to that unconditional love, to, like I said, the veil is going to be very thin during this period. So taking this time to connect to up above is beautiful. Especially the Phoenix is like such the final phase of your transformation. It's about, like it said, not literally setting yourself on fire, but you set your life on fire in a way, and you come out of it as this beautiful, fresh, new being full of life and love and new energy. And I kind of feel that's what's going through here, is you're persevering through all these emotions, you're understanding all these emotions, and then you go deep and you understand. It's kind of like understanding your shadow side, understanding, this is in darkness, and so you get to, I love that they both have fireflies and orbs all around them too, so you're definitely not alone when you're going through this. You have all your spiritual buddies on the other side, all your guardian angels and spirit guides, your loved ones who've gone to the other side. They're with you, helping you through all this, and you can connect with them as you connect to this beautiful star that you are here, that you find inside when you turn inward. So beautiful. I know it feels like emotionally heavy a little bit, but that's your life. I understand. I mean, even though I'm an Aquarian sun, my moon is in Pisces, and I've got my Venus in Pisces, and I've got like 3 other planets or celestial bodies in Pisces. I've got 1 in Scorpio and 1 in Cancer as well. So I've got like huge amounts of water. So I understand how emotion in the beginning feels oppressive, but I also know that this doesn't bother us. That this is like, I know, I'm used to the feeling as I deep dive into the deep, waters of emotions. The lower you go, the more pressure you feel, right? That's what happens when you go in the deep blue sea. You get that that pressure becomes more and more and more as you go down, and it's okay. We've adapted. We can do that. We understand it. All right, I'm also going to pull some additional cards here from the Everyday Tarot. And just to get clarification on each of these here. But yeah, definitely persevere. And you have 9 of Spring, and you got the 9 Hermit here too. All right, creators. So for this first week, what else do you want them to know about this? 9 of Wands and perseverance. What blocks are there? Or just what do you want them to know about that week before the full moon? Okay. Yeah, Eight of Swords. So this makes sense. Swords are your mindset, your beliefs, your thoughts, your attitudes, your expectations. And the beautiful lesson that comes with this is that all these swords that are making you feel constricted, that you feel are holding you back, and that are binding you, that are blinding you, those are our thoughts. Those are our beliefs. Those we put them there. We allow them, we put them in place. I mean, we didn't know any better. When we're young, we're like, what? That's the way things are supposed to be? Okay. And eventually we, like you paint yourself into a corner, you sword yourself into a corner with all these thoughts and beliefs. You just feel restricted. It's like, well, I can't go anywhere. There's like all this stuff in the way. And it's like, yeah, that's that heavy feeling because you feel like, I can't get through that. But when you realize that you're the one that, you're the only one that can choose what your beliefs are and what things mean. You're the one that applies the story to anything that happens in your life. You're the one who chooses your emotions, whether it's going to be emotions of extreme fear or emotions of extreme unconditional love or anything in between. You get to choose that. But all these expectations and all these supposed tos and shoulds and need tos and have tos, all these popular opinions on how things should be, all these popular emotions on what you should feel, we take them on as our own because we knew through praise and punishment, if we went against what the people in control of our lives at the time believed, there was punishment to be had. And if we went along with it, there was praise to be had, and candy and ice cream and all sorts of fun stuff. And because of that, we just took it on. But now it's become an obstacle. And now you get to face that and understand that you are the one that gets to release you from that. So it's very powerful. And then what about this week after the full moon? All these emotions, mastering your emotions, mastering your power of choice. You get to choose again. Okay, just this one. Yeah. King of Cups, King of Cups, King of Summers, King of Cups. You are the king. You rule it. So if there's any doubt, they're like, we meant it. You are the master of your emotions. You get to decide it. I mean, really, you are a mermaid, a merman, and whether you're male or female, you are the king. This is the master. This is you. You're Neptune, the king of the sea, or the queen of the sea. So yeah, it's like this is just know your power. Know your power over your emotions. And then what about this second week, this final week here for this reading? Okay, that one. Any others? Okay. We actually got two more. So, yeah, the moon. I know it's not a crab, but this is really about your ability. The moon, of course, controls the tides, the water, impacts the water. The moon is connecting to the higher realms. It's all about the emotions. The full moon, we're talking about the full moon, so the moon is influencing, your abilities, your ability to dive deep, within yourself. So I really feel it's really important here to focus in on this Pisces full moon energy and make the most of it while you're going through this, because take that time alone. If you do any kind of candle burning, any kind of ritual, even if you're writing down obstacles and burning them because you're releasing them, do some sort of significant little ritual for yourself, whatever it may be. Is it baking a little cake and you eating it? Whatever, you get to create your ritual. You get to create what it means. You get to create this transformation. But it's definitely this inner, because this is about getting into your subconscious and your unconscious. Like the high priestess. She has the moon symbol somewhere on her, and she's the one that uses that moon energy to go into her temple like a hermit and dive deep into the behind the veil, into the unconscious, the subconscious. So I really feel, yeah, very much so. And you got the Four of Pentacles, And for me, pentacles are about your worth, about your external world, how you feel, what your worth is as your physical human being. And what I love is that for me, it's like, because the 4 is like a very solid, stable number, like 4 strong legs on a table. It's very strong foundation. It's like you're understanding your true worth, because as you're connecting to your higher self here, you're really understanding that you're priceless. And you're also understanding that when you base your worth on the outside world, that's retail. That's what you're worth to the outside world, which is ever changing and ever fluctuating. You have an example of, you're a beautiful warm coat, and people in Alaska in the winter, in the far north of Alaska, think you are just, worth so much. They're willing to pay so much for you because, what you can bring to them. And then you spend the summer in southern Texas and they have you on the blue light special clearance rack at 90% off because they don't think of you as needed as the other people did. And that's the human ego experience. It's constantly fluctuating. So when you define yourself by the outside world, that's retail price, and the retail world is an unstable price market. But when you find your worth from within, when you connect to your higher self, to that higher world where you realize that in the Creator's eyes, you are perfect. You are unconditionally loved by the Mother and Father of all things. And when you make that your foundation and your worth, you stand very, very solid. Yeah, because then you have the 4 of Cups. And these cups are the cups of the outside world, those things that are told that are supposed to make you feel whole and complete. The things that are supposed to make, quench your thirst and make you feel full. But no, they don't. They leave you feeling thirstier, more thirsty, whatever the proper English way to say that is. And, it makes you even more hungry. But here is the Ace of Cups. This is the chalice. This is the Holy Grail. This is the higher world offering you the living waters that do quench your thirst. That is filled with the unconditional love of the Creator of all things. That's what we truly thirst for. And that's what truly fulfills us. So this is a beautiful journey within with this hermit where you discover that. Beautiful. Yeah, definitely a wonderful transformative time for you. And as we're talking to the feathered friends here, we're also going to pull a card here from your guardian angel card deck here and just see what your specific guardian angel has to say to you. And I love showing this card here because it is a reminder that you are never alone. And like I talked about, you're surrounded with all these orbs, all these beings of unconditional love and light that are always around you, letting you know that you are loved. And the message here is encouragement. And it says, your love is invaluable to the earth and to those around you. Even though you may not always see the positive effect your love has on others, trust, for it does. Each time you offer love through a loving gesture, a thought, or word, you plant a seed of love. And love always generates more love. Trust and continue your loving work. Yeah. So continue, persevere, encouragement. Don't give up. Don't give up. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from the Whispering Woods. These cards called out to me. Got fairies, they're usually in the woods, fairies, and you have birds. And so Magical Forest was just like, yes, choose me. So this will be your last card here. So for our Scorpio Spirit, what's your last message for them for this Pisces full moon period? Okay. You got path. Wander on the path less traveled. What you find might surprise you. Here you go. As you're going on this little path here, wander where others wouldn't go, because you'll find amazing, amazing things. Beautiful. Love this for you, Scorpios. Just know as you're going through every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing Pisces full moon, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. You take care.